Start living your first, your number one, you're the guy. Obviously, we are traveling right now, and it's one of my favorite times to do live streams because it makes the trip go faster for me. I have a driver. He's also a bodyguard and a provider and a bunch of other stuff. So he's in charge of it. He's like a personal Uber. Like I can sit here and I don't have to worry about, what's going on. And I've taken this trip before, so it's kind of boring for me. And I just really dig checking in with my peeps and passing the time. So there is Aid and Silver Main Biz. Thank you for being a channel supporter, Silver Main Biz, and it was great seeing you at Ruckus. I would have liked for us to have more time together, but unfortunately this year it didn't work that way. But it was really good to chat with you, and sorry if this moves around a bit. I'm just trying to get comfortable. At least I remember to bring a phone holder so I don't have to just hold you in my hand, because then my hand gets really tired. There's Colleen. Hello from North Texas. How's your weather, Colleen? There's Okie Storm Chaser. I would like you all, when I ask you a question, please answer in the comments, because I'm genuinely curious about what's been going on with you. So, Okie, have you been storm chasing lately? And there's Travis Bolt. Shalom, y'all. And Travis, thank you for being a supporter of the channel as well. You guys get special shout outs. Hey, Suze, also long-time follower, and I met you at Ruckus, right? Shalom on Poco de Todo Con. Not sure what that means, but shalom, shalom. And let's see, you guys are it. There's 14 of you in there. If you don't mind subscribing, and also just check in. I'd like to see who's here. No chasing yet. All the good storms have been where I don't like to chase. And he's doing that like this because good to chase, not good to the poor people who get caught in them. Rex Temic Mortem. A little of everything with a shalom. Oh, a little of everything. That's adorable. I miss meeting so many people at the Ruckus. Yeah, we actually ended up going to a wedding, and some of the people at the wedding had been at Ruckus, seated near us, but we had no chance to really interact with them at all at Ruckus because it was such a short time for us. So we had a nice conversation with them, really nice people. There's Cole. Shalom, it's Colson doing the spring things. Yes, you did. I managed to catch you on a break today. Yeah, I'm glad. Yeah, it was nice meeting you too. I love meeting people and putting the faces to the online name, and to be able to thank everybody who, like Jesus, who's been a long-time follower. Who else did you meet there, Jesus? Because you probably met a lot of folks. There's Numa-chan. Good morning, SK. Shalom, shalom. Showing a cup of coffee. Numa-chan, good person. S. Reyes rocks. Hi. I have a very small channel, exactly that. A little of everything Spanish and English. And everybody starts out small, but there's a lot of Spanish speakers who are also Torah keepers. So I'm sure eventually your channel will grow. Maybe it was because no one had identifiers. Maybe next time you should all wear t-shirts with our online name. Well, I have a t-shirt with my online name.
Or a Kuhim t-shirt.
Right? Or you can all wear a Kuhim t-shirt, because a lot of Torah keepers that we know have that t-shirt. Some people wear the Going Noah one. Rock Lick Ranch on the road again. Yeah, that's what I was actually thinking of calling the live stream, but I thought, I think I've already called one that before. But it's absolutely true. Lion Gamer Official, the Pepe. That's the father, right? Isn't that what Pepe means? Or is it the friend? Okay, Travis Bolt, cutting out too much. Praise Yah that my father-in-law came to Shabbat at our house for the first time, leaving the Baptist church to join us in the Word. That is. All right. So there's Palmetto Paratrooper. There's Northwest Arkansas Prepper. Shalom. There's Mrs. Lovely Dudley, and she's a moderator, and she doesn't mind wielding her wrench. There's J Fox 7. Must be on his lunch break. Shalom. Hope everything's going okay in your neck of the woods. Good to see you online. I have the Going Noah shirt somewhere, right? You got to pull it out of the dirty clothes, get it washed. I have a t-shirt, an SK t-shirt, and a Coop t-shirt, and Lone Star Living. Your SK t-shirt is probably the boy version, which is different than the girl version. So it's really quite unique. Praying for an easy transition and safety, Numachan. Yes, I 100% agree that. There's Lennox. Might supposed to be Junior, could be Jiver. Hey, I'm deploying to Djibouti in a couple of months. I told PJ in his last live stream, I hope I can still catch you all live here and there. Djibouti. Did you talk about Djibouti?
Camp over there.
Wow. That's going to be an adventure, Numachan. I really do hope it's a safe adventure for you. And I would hope with World Wide Web that you would be able to also catch live streams. That would be pretty cool. You could, if you get on there though, you need to be prepared to tell us what your life in Djibouti is like, because I would be fascinated to find out. I saw some neighbors. Wasn't sure if they were going to go. It was great to see people without the screen. Yeah, I think I know the neighbors you may have seen. Prayers for safe travels. Things are thinging over here. Excellent. Good job. And congrats on your 2 new lambs. That's really, the increase happens in the springtime. Northwest Arkansas Prepper says, hope you both have a safe trip. Thank you, and hopefully you're being safe out there too. NWA Prepper. Let's see. What do we want to talk about? I watched a documentary on, I don't remember which, might have been Netflix, on the Joplin tornadoes that happened in 2011. Really good information. Djibouti is an 8-hour time difference from the central time zone. Might be a little hard depending on the stream time. All right, so if we do it at 4 in the afternoon, it would be midnight her time. So on a day like today, if I'm doing it around noon, it's only 8 p.m. That's doable. Also, there's a wonderful prepping couple, Torah believers too, who live in Australia called Homestead Oz. They've been having a lot of their individual health issues, so they hadn't been real active on their channel, which I totally understand. And gosh, Australia is what, 12 hours or something? Australia is a way different time zone. And so only occasionally do I get to see their live streams, but they're just an amazing couple. Nice people. My nephew has recently realized that we are supposed to be keeping Torah. Wow, that's really cool. How old is he? He watched many of PJ's older videos and bears. There's Kermode Bear. Shalom. Won't be able to mod as I would like. Promise, little guy, I played with trucks in the mud. Aw, that's so cute. I'm going to have to dub some more people moderator, but with my phone, the way I do that is after the live stream turns into a video, I have to go back to the video, then click on the person, then I can make them a mod. So I'll try to work on that. Oh, but Lone Star Living's a mod. He's good too. I wanted to tell you that I'm getting a promotion to Fire Marshal, says NWA. Whoa, dude. I am super excited. Right? Yeah, aren't you the guy who's going to be doing the fire investigations? That's really cool. That's right, Moderator Hammer. that's really, really cool. Anyway, I was talking about the Joplin documentary. So, what really makes it a fascinating thing to watch is they went to some of the students who were high school students at the time that that tornado came through. It actually came through on the day they graduated from high school, and fortunately, their graduation, but it was after. Those kids were hanging around together in vehicles and trucks and driving around as you do after you graduate, right? Some of them drinking some beer, but just celebrating. And they had their phones on them. And unlike with people who like to pretend that they saw a Sasquatch and post it on Reels, these kids filmed some of the stuff happening with that tornado and their sound. And it's terrifying, and it's also it captures perfectly in time the experience. More than two of them were in cars that were taken up into the tornado, and they survived that, which is amazing to think about. And some of them had their phones on then and recorded even that, the noise, the sound of things hitting. One of them described it almost like bullets flying past you. That kind of ping, click, cluck, cluck noise when you're in a tornado. And that time tornado was estimated, so they're filmed from before the tornado came. Would then get into their caps and gowns and film of their graduation, and then the actual videoing on the phones of the experience was just, man, it hit me right in the gut, right in the heart. Like, oh my gosh, the devastation. It was a 6-mile wide path of devastation. And they're young, so they're, on one minute they're living very carefree, and on the other minute they're terrified for their lives. And it's just perfectly captured in the things that they said and the testimonies they gave now, 14 years later? So they're around 30. Their feelings at the time, and it's just really, really well done. Oh, hard to hear, huh? Let me see if I can turn my sound up. I can't. There's nowhere to support it, and I won't be able to hold it. Let's see. Congrats, someone said. Congrats, Palmetto. We're about to have our 6th here tonight, or in a day or two. Wow. I was there in Joplin tornado, Sister Kate. So many amazing stories came out of that day. They sure did, and what a coincidence you were there too. Okay, let me see what he said. What a wonderful problem to be blessed with. Hang on. Your face looks very blurry, says Lineup. Yeah, I can do this. It's the camera lens. It's all cracked, so that's why it's blurry. But I can't hold the phone like this forever, so I've got it propped up on my knee. I'd like to be more active in the chat, but I'm working and listening at the same time. I do want you all to know that I love you. Oh, that's cool. All right, so I guess Palmetto's having another child. We'll be up to 7 children this summer. Have to buy another vehicle, ran out of seats. Okay, well, mazel tov. Good morning, says Leanne. This is just as a volunteer. We're all firefighters, so it's NWP. Clear audio from Kermod, that's good to hear. And Pharma says she can hear just fine. And Pharma, You don't know anything about her, is a Torah believer who lives in the wilds of Canada and also has a small side business selling soap. And she also now is crocheting small animal figures, and her soaps are really good if you like ordering like goat milk soaps and things. Her products are quality. So everyone give her a shout out. A little of everything. Yeah. Being on the road, there's not much that can be done with the audio or the picture. This is real life, not a perfect studio video. Well, and I do have plans to go get another phone because this one is totally beaten up. I've dropped it 1,000,000 times. I've cracked the screen. There's bits of it missing around the edges, and I even have it in a protective carrier, but it can only stand being dropped so many times. So like I said, the actual camera up there is like got 3 cracks in it, and that's why I look so blurry and kind of misty. Rajan Kumar Bhagat, Indian, yes. Indian, Jai Hind. Who's driving, right? Because I should be driving if I were in India, right? One-handed driving here. Whoa, whoop, left, let go. I'm an Uber driver right here. Welcome, Rajan. I do have some followers who watch some of my videos from India. So that's a shout out. I have Canadians, sometimes Brits. Sometimes I have Russians who watch my videos, probably my short videos.
Jai Hind.
Jai Hind, yeah. So appreciate it. Scrappy Cat. I was in Oklahoma, May '99, doing relief work from the big tornado. We organized the camp and food for law enforcement and military. It was bad. I was in Mayfield in Kentucky, and apparently that was really bad when I went. And they got hit again in this last round of storms. So the poor town, no, they didn't. Sorry. I thought they did. Okay, John Ross says LeBron. I'm not about it. Better now, says Lena. Good. Here we have a driver's seat at the right. So got confused, says Rajan. Exactly. I understand. Phones are so expensive these days. I'm in the same boat, but don't want to spend the money on something that doesn't last more than a few years. I buy the cheaper Android phones. I get it. The Apple phones are the bomb. Like when I talk to people and they want to show me a photo, the Apple phone has like 5,000 photos on it. This little Android phone doesn't have that much room, doesn't have that much memory. And so I'm constantly having to clear out photos. And that's fine. Not every photo I take has to be saved for eternity. And I do take a lot of photos in the spring of the flowers and wildlife. Well, not so much wildlife, but excuse me, the flowers, the blossoms in my area of the woods, because they're really pretty, very vibrant colors. But I don't need to save that every year. So I end up deleting a bunch, and then I'm putting a lot of it on SD cards. Totally excited. Today starts my 4-week staying home vacation. Wow, that sounds like perfect. It's a great time of year to go in there and clean and chuck stuff out and get projects started.
Where do they live?
Scrappy Cat. Where does Scrappy Cat live? I'm not sure where you live, Scrappy Cat. I was heat casualty for the first time in my life. The last time Grindstone was in Mississippi. It's not the heat, it's the humidity. Oh, and Lone Star's Wilderness Ranch, Levron was timed out. I just bought a new iPhone 16, just nice for the newer one. Pharma still has an iPhone 7. 7 was a good one. I think somebody gifted one to PJ and it's still kicking, so they're good. And Lone Star has an 11 or a 12. Wife is a May 3 survivor from the MWC end of the tornado. I lived a couple of miles away and we got giant hail that punched holes through our roof.
Ouch.
Woo! I think we were just reading about the MWC outbreak. We were definitely reading about historic outbreaks in Missouri because Joplin was like their number one most devastating, cost the most people killed tornado outbreak. Oh my goodness. No good on heat issues. I've gone down so many times and went to the hospital in California. But now's a good time in California to be planting stuff. Their weather's okay. We were just kids then. Had to pace myself ever since. Yes, you do, because once you've had a heat thing, you have to. You're more susceptible to another one. You got to wear the hat and carry the water. Got to go back to work. We'll catch the rest later. Shalom, Jesus. I had to upgrade to a 14 when I switched to FirstNet phone service. Paid it off right before I lost my job. Yeah. Some of those iPhones, man, very expensive. I just can't see. This is how far back we go with phones. I remember when T-Mobile first started and you signed up for their service, they gave you a free phone. And they did that at least 3 times for us because we would like upgrade the service, get a little bit more, and they would give us a phone, or add a line, they'd give us a phone. I carry dry packets of hydration. Refuge has a good one, by the way. That's good to know. So in this Joplin documentary, one of the kids who was pulled out of the car he was in, the car was taken up with the tornado and then he was pulled out of it. Then the car, and he fall back down to the ground. And his friends are still in that car, so they get out of the car and they know he's not in it and they start searching for him. They find him and he's all beat up. And so they get help for him and they get him to a hospital. He then contracted some sort of flesh-eating virus from what was in the tornado, being pulled out of the ground and everything else, and to be treated for that. So he had a huge scar on the middle of his body. But he survived it. He survived it all, and he got married, and they showed him with his children and everything. I find that miraculous, that you can be taken up to a tornado and drop back down again and still be alive. Rolling Fork, Mississippi almost got hit again yesterday. Yay, it's a live and drive. I thought I was going to miss you, said Lampkeeper's Journey. I like that. I might have to use that in the next time I do a live and drive. I love that. Lampkeeper's Journey, you're probably working on a new book and you're working on your homestead. How are things going with you? We used to have the Nextel walkie-talkie phone. Scrappy Cat, she had a brick. You can see those bricks in old movies too. They were they were the bomb diggity. Massive. It was pretty crazy to see a semi on a house. Yeah, that's one of the things. If you volunteer for a deployment with Grindstone,
which they need volunteers.
Yeah, they need volunteers in Mississippi still. So if anybody has time or knows someone who might have time to go down to Mississippi and help out, they're near Tylertown. Mississippi, and they're on Instagram Reels, and you can also get an email from them, and they have a website and all that. But one of the things that makes the whole stuff more immediate to you and more real is if you go to one of the places where a tornado was hit. The devastation is complete, and you see all sorts of crazy stuff. Parts of buildings hanging in trees, semi-trailers just twisted around a tree or rolled over. The teenagers in Joplin were hiding in a liquor store. Well, it was the closest thing. They were driving down the road, the tornado's right behind them, and so they pull into the first driveway. It's a liquor store. They walk in, and the people in there it's living like a minute away, and they're just standing there, buying whatever, and the kids come in screaming and yelling like, "The tornado's coming right now! We need to hide!" And so the owner says, "Well, get into the coolers, right? Get into the coolers. They're more solid." So they go into the coolers. Now, not the walk-in freezer, but into the cooler section. They go in there, and the tornado just trashes the whole building. Everything in it. When they come out and they have their phones on them, God bless them, they had their phones on them. They show the devastation, like they stand up from underneath metal roofing and everything that falls down on them. And there's literally nothing left of the store. It's just the broken bottles and the metal pieces from the walls and everything. And it's just a 200-mile-an-hour wind twirling. It's so hard to even, pulls trees up by the roots, flings them hundreds of feet in the air. It's outrageous. I think Ron Hall said that today is the anniversary of the Rolling Fork tornado. Old Trapper. Old Trapper is also a channel supporter and not really old. It's just a name.
Yeah, he's not old.
My great-great-grandpa got carried off by a tornado. He came home 3 days later. He had a drinking problem. Laugh out loud. There's a documentary on Prime that has the injured guy in it. Yes, that's what I'm talking about, Landkeeper. Yeah, I'm talking about that documentary. Love, Alive, and Drive. I was always told that story, said Old Trapper. There's Silver Cray Martial Arts. I went to Mayfield for a few days. I hated to leave without doing more. Yeah, I thought I am cert trained, but they had me do support stuff around the whatever you want to call it, the fob, and I had fun doing that too, and met a lot of really cool people there. I can't even imagine. We get some bad hurricanes, but no tornadoes. Hurricanes are worse at Cat 4 and 5. Importance of having good footwear all the time. Imagine walking through the broken glass to get out of the liquor store, right? Flip-flops wouldn't have worked real well. We were pretty blessed not to get too many storms, says Farmont. So one thing that it occurs to me is we're here in America having these terrible storms is that in the last 10 years, there have been some tornadoes and some hurricanes in places that I didn't imagine ever would have them. Like in England and I think Germany, France, maybe even Norway. One of the things I want to do when I get a moment is to Google hurricane tornadoes, in Europe, because I think Ireland may have even had a tornado or a hurricane. Very odd to me. In St. Thomas, we saw a very large sailboat up on the dry land. The MASH unit was set up on the hospital property. Couldn't use a hospital due to the damage. A Cat 5 had blown through. I feel severely reduced my capacity to respond to an emergency if I don't have literal foot armor on, i.e. heavy boots. It's pretty important because you don't know what is in the ground. You don't know what you might step on. And the best kind of boots are the ones with the steel plate so that you don't get a puncture up through your boot. My husband wants us to get a single wide instead of building. He's just not able to lift with his back anymore. I'm a little sad but excited to be out of the camper soon. Yeah, just the room would be worth, it's going to make your life so much better. Campers are just really tight. All right, there's Westhold Forge. He is here for a little bit, and he's a moderator, and he's a blacksmith, so behave. I feel lazy and cheap when I wear gym shoes. Gym shoes are still better than flip-flops. There's Scotty John, Sister Kate, shalom. Scotty John, give us a farm update. What's going on with you? We're in for heavy snowfall in Canada today.
This guy's shredding tires.
Ooh, that's bad. Oh, yeah, no, he's got pieces flying off. Something in there. Dude, your tires are starting to fall apart. England, wait a minute. It's stuff in the road. I can see it. There's pieces in the road and it's getting thrown up. So it's not either one of them. Somebody in front of those guys. There we go. England averages something like 5 tornadoes yearly. Germany gets a few every year too. Bavaria mostly. They have a vorticity zone similar to Denver. A vorticity zone, yeah. Bavaria has a vorticity zone. Yes. That's very interesting information, Oki. Thank you. How long have you and your husband been married? How is your daughter? 4 decades, and she's fine as far as I know. Barely thawed here. No planting for a few weeks, says Scotty. If you see me in public with flip-flops on, it's definitely a cry for help, says Westhold Forge. Dude, and you will get help. We don't want you ever to get that desperate. California gets an average of 10 tornadoes a year, but very small. Of course, wind shears are very destructive. And California's already got its own share of natural disasters every year. You know that. Mudslides, earthquakes, tsunamis, fires. Yeah. When was the last time you heard Home Skillet and her husband? How are they? Years ago. I think they're fine. That's all I know. I'm not sure what she's talking about there. Okay, so off of Pharma's weather report with heavy snowfall in Canada, I also watched a documentary done by Werner Herzog, who's a famous film guy, called Happy People. A year of life in the taiga.
That's a really good documentary.
Yeah, it's a really good documentary about people living in Bhakti. It's really good information. It's very interesting, and the snowfall up there in Siberia is off the chain. All right, y'all. I'm gonna have to answer this real quick. Okay, here I am. The full quiver. Shalom, SK. There's Nicola. Life gives us these tests to resort to our training. We were proactive and communicative. It was a rare privilege to be with him in his final moments. So I guess someone passed for Nicola. This Saturday, our prep group had a backpacking trip in Uwharrie, North Carolina.
Been there.
Our friend collapsed. We did CPR. EMS arrived with oxygen, AED, and an ATV. They could not resuscitate him. Wow, that is some real world stuff right there. It's a good thing you all got to practice. sorry your friend was not able to be revived. There's Raincat Studio. Shalom from Cold and Rainy PNW. Raincat is a very gifted artist. She does amazing paintings. If you have not seen any of them, you can go to her channel and check that out. She's also a supporter of my channel, so thank you so much. Still love it here in California. We might get a Republican governor this next election.
Yeah, I heard that.
That would be amazing. Maybe they're tired.
Mel Gibson's contemplating a run.
Mel Gibson's contemplating a run, and Conor McGregor, after meeting with Trump, is going to try to run as president of Ireland. Although, you know, whether he gets elected or not is a whole other thing. Okay. I recently saw that Walmart sells canisters of bottled air. Would be a good thing to carry. I don't know. Oh, you're not signing off. No, I'm not signing off yet. No, I'm just going to keep living for a little while until we get to a place where I don't have correct service, or about an hour-ish into the drive-ish, something like that. But no, I'm good. I admire the stuff you and your husband show. Thank you. There's Amanda's Homestead Journey. Hi, everyone. Where did we meet? We met when we were babies. Yeah, we met when we were babies on the island of Cyprus out in the middle of the Mediterranean. Okay. And then what was the last comment? I know bottled air, full quiver. Tony Johnson didn't plant anything. I asked him about that. Nicola, thank you. We need an NPA and used his IFAC. It's an odd feeling realizing your kid may be used on you, but that's why it's there. Uwharrie, North Carolina.
Uwharrie National Forest. We were there. That's where we went camping that one time.
Yeah, I knew we'd been there before. It sounded familiar. What else was I going to say about that?
2 courses there.
Okay, so it's just a forest area good for hiking and so on.
We do the Q course there in Parksville.
Yeah. When I was in kindergarten, I prayed to ask what my wife's name would be, and I got it turned out to be accurate. We didn't meet until we were 26 though. Okay, now they're talking about Uwharrie. Something else about North Carolina. They're still recovering from Helene, right? They got whacked up there. Yeah. So much damage from these storms lately. All right, let's shift that a little bit closer. Yeah, I can see myself. So what else is going on with everybody else? Lone Star Living said he was traveling around with a group. I kind of forget. It's for filming. He's helping people to do filming.
Filming what?
Like documentary type stuff, but also they did some stuff for Bear. My 63-year-old mom will be moving in with me. She requires full care and my dad can't do it. May I ask for prayers for a good transition for my mom and our family? You sure can. Your mom's my age. She's blessed to have someone who's willing to help out, and so's your dad. Going to get some seeds started and waiting on my last doe to kid. Does anybody else have livestock that is kidding or lambing these days? Because ours, I am waiting on one more doe also, and it's her first time, so I'm hoping she'll do okay. My other does did fine. Everybody, no problems, which is a blessing. I was starting to get into the bloodlines that I had where the does were getting so small they couldn't birth their kids. And I did not want to continue going down that path. Cute as those little goats were, they just were not capable of having their own babies, and that was not a good thing. All right. Let me go back to your comments. Fires have been bad too. Southern Prepper 1 had one on his doorstep yesterday in South Carolina. Yeah, we haven't had a lot of rain in our area either. I lead the PrepperNet Raleigh-Durham chapter. We had an overnighter ruck planned there with our neighboring Greensboro, Charlotte folks. Wow, that's cool. Who will take care of us? Yahweh will provide. He will, but your family can be part of the provision, which is a blessing, and why having a big family can be a real benefit. Lambing is done, says Raincat Studio. Goats will be a bit later. Yah has kept me busy helping others since I lost my job. It's been a walk in faith. Thought I had a job lined up, but fell through, not banging on a door that Yahweh shuts. Lena says, my 23-year-old cannot yet take care of himself. Is he someone with issues, or is it just he needs to grow up and realize he's an adult? Danielle Terry, I have a question. There is a debate about cremation versus burial, but I see nowhere in the Bible that cremation is a no-no. I think it's totally up to you, Danielle. I think you are right. I don't think the Bible has a commandment anywhere in there in either direction in support of anything. And, you know, obviously some people were buried in tombs. Yeshua was put in a stone tomb with a stone, or stone rolled over the mouth of it. So I would say it's probably kind of your decision. And my pastor's giving me a head nod, so there you go. Lamb Keeper's Journey. We have rams coming in, and a mama cat that took up with my husband just had her kittens. More cats. Yeah. We had a cat that took up with us, and we had her fixed, because we know it's not just one time in a year that she may have kittens. She could have kittens more than one time in a year, and then those kittens have kittens, and so on. And so but congratulations to you. And the rams are actually good. We have wild onions up, but I don't need them because I've got walking onions that are bigger that are also coming up. And we just visited a property that we own that has the walking onions on it, and they have basically become part of the front yard now. They used to be just in a specific area, about 4 foot by 4 foot is what they grew into, and after that they're just everywhere, which is updates here, pretty tame. Wood. Hope all is well in Kentucky since the recent tragic flooding. If given no other option, could he or is he special needs? Says Janelle Fox.
What's up, Janelle Fox?
Janelle Fox is on the live stream. Woo-hoo. Nice. You're welcome, Danielle. Yah made us from dust. I'm sure he can do the same with a dusty ashes, said Kermode. Blessed not to be near the flood. I'm about halfway between Louisville and Cincinnati, Ohio. I've wanted walking onions. They are really, they're not huge, although I did give some.
We started with 6.
Yeah, we started with 6 that someone gave us, and now I've even sent one to Sabbath Lounge, to Matt, down to Texas. And I'd also given some to None of Your Business, or None of Your Beeswax. I think it's None of Your Business. Sometimes he's on the live streams too. I gave him some. He also took some to Texas, and then he moved to somewhere like Wyoming, and they took them with them. And he swore that his wife got really big onions out of them. She's probably a better gardener, had better soil, because the actual onions aren't really huge, but you can eat the onions and the greens. And so I'm still happy to have them because once you put them in the ground, you never have to plant. They plant
Yeah,
more.
they're amazing.
They are amazing and they're perfect for me because I never was great about planting onions in good soil or making huge onions or anything like that. We plan on getting her and the kittens fixed ASAP. Wise decision. And there are organizations, there's one near me where you can get a cat fixed if you get on their list for like $25. That's the cheapest I've ever heard of it, ever. So, yeah, hopefully there's one of those in your area. Kermo Bear has to get back to work. Shalom. The full quiver. I'm pregnant with our 7th child due the week of Sukkot. Well, mazel tov to you, full quiver. And I hope you have a safe and healthy delivery. What up, P units? I don't think cremation is biblical. Do they have a regular onion taste? They do. It's kind of like a reddish onion. I too have wild onions, garlic, and leeks. My great uncle encouraged to grow, and they come back every year. We do have wild garlic on our property. We didn't have any, we didn't plant it. We just happened to find it, and I just continued to let it grow, and I tried to transfer some up to my regular garden. So let's see. The Joplin. Oh, yeah, I was talking about the Happy People documentary about the taiga. What really impressed me, not so much that they are making their living from hunting. Sable makes a really beautiful warm fur coat, but he also has to hunt and fish for everything he eats. And what impressed me was the river that they live near has. The town is only 300 people, and the river provides them with year-round fish. It's a huge river, and it's very well stocked. And I'm sure it's because there's not so much demand on that river. And so they can get these huge pike. They're probably 20 to 30 pounds a piece, enough to feed them all winter and their dogs. That's what they use for dog food. So that impressed me. And the other thing about the documentary that impressed me was this particular hunter's knowledge and use of wood and axes. He made traps to catch the sable by using his axe, cutting trees and forming traps out of wood. He also had several small hunter cabins that he put along his route, his 1,500 kilometer square foot route. These little huts that he made by himself from wood, and then he would stock them with all the essentials, with some smoked food, with tools, with some sort of chimney and fire making stuff. So when he comes in cold from hunting, at the end of the day, he can go in his little cabin, start a fire, have some food, have some sort of place to sleep. He made himself these beds all out of wood, and I totally can relate to his ability to just chop with his axe what he knew he needed and do it efficiently. It was really impressive. Farmer says they have to learn how to do ice fishing, right? I mean, and they were doing that, and they were knew how to get water out of this frozen river. It's minus 50 where they are. But they knew how the river behaved and spots where they could dig and then keep a wooden lid on that spot so they could come back the next day and fish or get fresh water. It's really impressive. Yeah. I ordered 12 walking onions. They only sent me 6, and Hale left me 3. That's all right, Danielle. Those 3 will come back.
You'll have more than you.
Yeah. They'll come back. You'll be fine. All right, y'all. Well, it's been about 40 minutes, and I appreciate interacting with everybody. If there's anything that you want to ask very quickly or comment, now's the time, because I will be shutting the live stream down here shortly. So let's see. Time flew. Yes, it does. Thank you, Scotty John. Make sure to hit the thumbs up, y'all. I appreciate every single one of you who come to the live streams and ask questions and comment and share, pray for each other, offer up your bits of wisdom and tidbits on gardening, on animals, on faith, all of that. It's really a blessing to have an online family who I can relate to. And also real family. Okay, y'all. I don't see any other comments, so that's good enough for me. Bless y'all. Shalom. Thank you. Okay. Now I will call you. I'm surprised you came online.